When did your roommate realize she was the victim of her own lies? You stole my iPod! I heard a loud voice shout from behind me as I sat at my desk in my college dorm room, minding my own business, doing schoolwork. What are you talking about? I cocked my head to the side, trying to figure out what my roommate, Ren, was saying and why. You stole from me, she whispered, and then started to cry. Look, I'm not sure what you mean. Please don't accuse me falsely of things like this, I said, hoping that'd be the end of it. But it wasn't. The following day, Ren approached me again and said, May I borrow something from you? Your iPod by any chance? She pleaded. I didn't answer initially, but then I thought about it further and said, Ren, no, you have your own. And that was the end of that, so I thought. I was in a study hall down the hallway of my dorm room for college kids when I suddenly heard some music drifting down the hall quite loudly. I thought, how strange. That's when I realized it was coming from my room. And Ren wasn't in it, but the iPod was. My iPod, on her side of the room. I had been looking for it for weeks since it went missing suddenly. I snatched it, horrified, from the stereo system she had plugged it into. Grabbing my phone, I called her instantly, texted her furiously. No answer up until the third try. Ren, why did you take my iPod? This is not okay with me, I said, my voice shaking. Tears were beginning to stream down my face with red-hot anger. I didn't take it, she insisted. I planned to surprise you with it when you'd come back. I found it on my side of the room and planned to, give you a little surprise later on. Her voice trailed off nervously. What surprise? Listen, if you don't get over here and give me a real explanation, then I'm calling the police for further investigation, I snapped. So get over here now, or I call the cops for theft of property. No, I can't talk right now. I'm in the library studying. If you call the police, I will freaking kill you. And that's when I hung up the phone in her face. I was calling 911 campus police. As soon as an officer was sent out to question me, I explained what had happened bit by bit. He commented that it seemed a rather complicated situation and assured me that he'd take care of Ren. We went through the music on my iPod just to be sure that it wasn't a mistake like Ren had said. But no, she was in fact lying to me. The music I didn't recognize at all. Techno titles called Mind Duck and Hot for Me. Things I never would have listened to in a million years. I gave the officer her phone number and he said, Are you sure this is what you want to do? Do you want to press charges? It's your word against hers. No, no charges. I don't want her life to be ruined for something like this. Just disciplinary action with the school. And I want you to address the threats she made against myself and others, I confirmed. So the cop called Ren. She picked up the phone not knowing who it was. Somehow he was able to find her location through strict interrogation. Your word against hers. The words buzzed in my mind. I felt beyond sick, but I waited in my room while the cop found Ren's location. At long last, the cop called me and filled me in on what was going on. She'd need to be present before a judge in student judicial affairs, and then a decision would be made from there. I nodded my agreement. Is there anything else I can help you with? Are you okay? The cop asked with sympathy in his voice. No, I'm fine. I just don't want her living here anymore with me. Officer, she is dangerous. She threatens people, even her own parents. She is mentally unstable, and I don't feel safe in this room with her here. One time she threatened her boyfriend as well. Has she ever threatened you, ma'am, other than this one text that you showed me? The cop frowned, his voice turning even more concerned. Well, no, but she complains a lot and is constantly negative and nasty. We'll see what we can do. We can't force her to move out, but we'll speak with judicial affairs. We will also put a restraining order between the two of you if that is acceptable to you, the officer said. On the day of the trial, I chose not to be present. I couldn't face someone who had once been a close friend of mine, a close friend who had betrayed me, someone who blamed the world around her for her problems, but was really just the victim of her own lies. I was too much of an emotional wreck to face Ren on that day, but I did provide a written testimony to go before the judge. In the end, she argued and argued and argued, but she had no choice but to face the truth. She wrote me an apology letter and finally admitted to herself and to others that she had actually committed a wrongdoing. She was banned from living on campus for the remainder of her stay there, but even that consequence she tried to argue. So they told me to never trust the apologies of someone who would always be a liar at heart, who would always believe in their own lies above the truth.